I finally watched Don't Look Up. I finally got through it last night because I was not in the mood over the holidays. I was having too bad a holiday. But I mean, it really is that kind of thing that people like you are screaming, whether it's about a comet or climate change or this, the end of democracy. But, and part of it is darkly funny and part of it is like, oh my God, we are screaming. There are people like you that are screaming. Jennifer Rubin, all across the spectrum. Barton Gellman. I mean, every time someone writes a new piece, you might be like, right, that's my book. Yes, I'm saying the same thing. Right.
It is. But it's great that we're getting the word out. Here's what's not happening. Steve Bannon has hundreds of millions of dollars of Republican money to build the machine to destroy the electoral process. All of these guys who are the influencers who we're finding out were part of the strategy to knock down the election on January 6th are all funded in a massive way. They're massive way. You know what? Somebody actually said to me recently, I went to dinner with someone who is pretty much a billionaire, and they don't do anything. They don't give money. Yeah. They don't understand how serious this is. They don't, they make their regular donations, but the Republicans have a machine worth $1 billion to destroy us. We barely can get one of our friends to come vote. This election is you better bring 10 people with you election.
Yeah, you say it every time, but this ought to chill you to the bone in the New York Times. Trump and his allies are scheduling events, raising money for initiatives intended to make Trump a central player in the midterms, possibly set the stage for another run for the White House. We're talking about this rather than him being in jail, which we should be. He and his groups allied with him are planning policy summits, more rallies, elaborate forum next month at Mar-a-Lago for candidates he has endorsed who give as much as $125,000 a person to the pro-Trump super PAC, which of course goes right in his pockets. But okay. And by the way, that's trying to reinforce his properties as the center of Republican power, holding events at Mar-a-Lago and his club in Bedminster, so he can just continue the grift. So he just keeps grifting money from them. But, again.
But Democrats don't do this. Democrats don't have policy conferences. Democrats don't have planning committees. Democrats don't have CPAC. The last thing I remember us ever having was Netroots Nation.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even, and you don't even see that anymore.
Yeah.
We are really falling into a precipice. So, I'm calling principally because I have watched this happen in war, amongst warlords, potentates, and dictators in all of these other countries, and to see this actually happening in the United States, and one party does not want to participate in the fight, right?
Malcolm,
one party, it's being screamed from the streets, but I'm sorry, Jamie Harrison being on your show is a good example. He's on your show, but I don't see him on MSNBC. I don't see him on CNN. I don't see him anywhere.
He has been on those shows. He has been on those shows. I mean,
I'm sure he has. Well, we're missing them. No one's putting his clips up on Twitter. Look,
right.
We're at the point now where this is going to have to be a self-starting defense of democracy, where every individual will have to prepare themselves for one of two results, or the defense of it.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying quickly before we go, Malcolm, that I think it's the other reason we desperately need justice for January 6th because we have to break this mass delusion that you have 70% of Republicans saying they don't believe Joe Biden was elected legitimately. I mean, we somehow have to break this mass delusion.
Stephanie, there's no breaking that. There's no breaking that. In Rwanda, after they had committed a genocide of all of their neighbors, it took military force coming into that country and a guerrilla force to subjugate everyone to the point where they could reestablish rule of law. There, what's his name? The expert on cults, Steve Hassan, has a new article coming out about this, and there's no breaking them or one event happening. I think that if the United States were attacked, that 30% could quite literally side with whoever the attackers were. And if it was an internal attack that's being done, and one of the scenarios I had in my book was, what happens if these right-wing insurgents start dropping bombs from drones or using suicide drones the way ISIS does on democratic protests across the country? Well, Do you think that that will bring that 30% back to believing in the United States and the Constitution first? No. I think that the title of the book says it all. They want to kill Americans.
Yeah.
They have no problem with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we end on our usual happy note with Malcolm Nance, who is available to work children's birthday parties if you'd like.
And you guys butted heads a little bit. That was exciting.
Well, it makes for better makeup sex.
There you go.
All right. Love you, Malcolm Nance. We'll see you.
Take care.
See you
Thanks,
next
Malcolm.
Week.